up, guys? Tom and I wake up every single day busting our asses to do these videos in the hopes that one of them hits you so hard that your life is changed for the better. But I know that sometimes it will take a lot more than just standing in front of the camera to help those who are truly struggling, which is why it is so meaningful to me to team up with BetterHelp. BetterHelp assesses your very specific needs and matches you with your own online licensed professional therapist. Guys, I get it's hard to make that first step and ask for help, so I'm really hoping this makes it easier for you or anyone you know that is struggling to take that first action step. So today, especially for you guys, we have a special offer. Visit betterhelp.com/RT, that's BetterHelp, H-E-L-P, and join over 500,000 people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. And we have a special offer for Relationship Theory viewers, you guys. You can get 10% off your first month by going to betterhelp.com/RT. That's 10% off your first month by going to betterhelp.com/RT. Now, back to the episode.
I could end this argument. I could drop her to a bag of sobbing rubble if I just said this one thing. I have no interest in doing that.
Language matters, and let's talk about that in our relationship, where we've had to define the language that we use so that we understand each other in the way that is meant. Because the amount of times, especially early on in our relationship, you'd say one thing, I'd fly off the handle, and you're like, that wasn't what I meant. Right. I'm like, yeah, but you use this word. And for me, this word means X, Y, and Z. And so we had to have that communication and understanding how to influence each other with the goal that we have in mind. Talk to me about the words that we use and how we develop them.
That's really interesting. We could literally derail on this and do a whole podcast just about this, because I think people are way too caught up in what words are acceptable, what you can and can't say. And my whole thing is, don't ever be so sensitive that you can't go, yeah, that word hits me funny or whatever. But I want to stop and really understand this. And I've never understood people that are interested in throwing up a roadblock and saying, I'm no longer going to listen to you because you said X, Y, Z. And I'm not interested in shutting people down. I'm not even interested in trying to prove something to them. I want to understand their position and see if there's something usable in that for me so that I can put it into my own worldview. And it was very easy for us to say, first of all, we're in our 20s. We don't have a better word than manipulate, but I don't mean anything sinister by it. So let's just talk openly about what this is. It's like, we have a shared vision. We know what we're trying to accomplish in our life. The only word that I know is manipulate, but hey, it has these really weird connotations, and I promise I don't mean any of that. So are you with me? Do you understand where I'm going? And then my thing is, you earn trust with people over time. Like, the number of times, and this is critical, if you're in a relationship and you weaponize the knowledge that you have about that person against them, you know my every insecurity. I mean, the fucking really weird, nuanced ones. In 19 years of being together, you've never weaponized anything against me. Not something that I said in the past. You don't do the bringing something up from a past argument. You don't do any of that shit. And it would be so easy for you because your mind is like a steel trap. It fucking terrifies me. And you remember all of that stuff. Like, for me, I'm gonna fucking forget it anyway. So, but I mean, I know your insecurities well enough. I could certainly weaponize them against you, but I don't want to. I don't even have the desire or the inclination. It's like, I could end this argument. I could drop her to a bag of sobbing rubble if I just said this one thing. I have no interest in doing that. It's like, it's so terrifying to think how fragile trust really is that it only takes one gnarly comment that was aimed to be cruel, and you can really do a lot of damage. So we had earned all that trust. So by the time we're talking about stuff like that, it's like we've already been together for a while. There's a lot of trust built up. It's so important to treat people kindly and to make them feel better about themselves when they're around you.
Yeah, and we're so used to each other and each other's language that even when I know you're trying to move me, let's say, and I even say to you, I see what you're doing there, Billy. It's a good strategy, it's working.
100%.
And so I'll give you the credit for the strategy, because that's the one thing. No one ever wants to feel like they're being secretly manipulated to their advantage, the other person's advantage.
That is super important. But now the thing that I've heard people say, and I don't remember who said this first, but manipulation is moving somebody to your advantage and influence is moving them to their advantage.
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I would say that we always moved each other to mutual advantage. It was always about the relationship.
But even the language we use with each other, so we have, like, for instance, a word that we say that which is important. I say the word important to you maybe 2 or 3 times a year.
Right.
You say it back to me. That word for us, we have both come together to define and say this word means that no matter what's happening, you drop what you're doing. And so if you're with the President of the United States and I say, hey, I need you, it's important, it means that you're going to drop it. But at the same time, I have to acknowledge that I can't abuse that word.
Right.
So those are kind of little tools and tips and tricks that we have done to communicate, because we never want the boy that cried wolf, right? Where it's like, let's say I'm feeling down or I'm upset or something's happened. I don't ever want to keep calling on you, and then when I really freaking need you, and then you're busy and you're like, I just don't have time. So we've really defined that word and what that means to us.